Hi guys, Mary Lisa here with Spirit Collective. I'm jumping on a video today to share with you 6 simple tips to make sure that you feel happier starting today. We all want to be happier. There are so many things out there that make us happy and so many things that seem to be making us unhappy. So I'm going to lay out 6 simple tips for you guys that are proved by research. You can find the research in my latest blog post, which I will link here and in the comments below. Let's get into it. Number 1, we have to realize that happiness is an inside job. External factors only account for about 10% of our happiness. External factors are things like job, money, situations, even health. Happy people tend to be happy through all situations. And that's great news for us because that means that happiness truly is an inside job. When we chase things to make ourselves happy, we engage with what's called the hedonic treadmill. Whatever we achieve or collect in life, we then determine that we can have more, bigger, better. So we chase the next bigger raise, the thinner body, more stuff to fill our houses, the latest electronic, whatever. It can be whatever that we're chasing, but there's no end goal. That's why it's a treadmill. Don't get me wrong, those things do have the capacity to make us happy, but it's for a fleeting moment. Real and sustainable happiness is a personal practice and is less affected by the outside world. It's an easy thing to say, yeah, I'll just try to be more happy and I won't let things dictate how happy I am, but how? We're going to get into those in the next tips. Tip number 2, connecting with others. We need each other. We are social creatures, and when we form relationships with people, it actually teaches us more about ourselves, more about spirituality, and more about emotional fulfillment. Cultures that are considered collectivists are actually ranked higher in life satisfaction than individualistic cultures like the United States. And that's because we rely on each other for so many things. And it's when we isolate ourselves that we may achieve more, but we feel empty and disconnected. Being seen and heard is paramount to living a fulfilled and happy life, especially on a physiological level. When we connect with people is when we release the happy, good hormones like oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin. The main thing that stops us from connecting to other people is fear. We're scared to be vulnerable. We're scared to get rejected. We're scared to put ourselves out there. We're scared to start the conversations. And that fear comes from rejecting emotions and rejecting parts of ourselves, which I will get into later on in the video. Fear of vulnerability and rejection cannot stop us from making meaningful connections. Being vulnerable and getting rejected happen, but the risk is worth the reward. The reward being fulfillment, happiness, love, peace, and joy. It's definitely worth it. Tip number 3, get outside. Nature is so smart. She created our natural world so that these awesome things called negative ions are released into the air by trees, plants, big bodies of water. Spending 30 minutes outside in quality outdoor space, which is space with lots of natural elements, can greatly reduce stress and manage anxiety. Negative ions have a positive effect on our mind and our body chemistry. Check out my video on smudging to learn more about negative ions. Being outside is also a great time for self-reflection, spiritual connection, disconnecting from work and other stressors. Tip number 4, probably my favorite tip, express your emotions. All your emotions, even the negative ones. When we try to ignore things like fear, hurt, anxiety, anger, we stuff them. We pretend it's not happening. We don't acknowledge. We pretend that we don't feel them. When we do that, we are effectively numbing ourselves from the emotion, which may seem great, but in essence, when you numb yourself from those emotions, you numb yourself from the positive emotions like happiness, joy, excitement. So we cannot selectively numb our emotions. When we ignore our emotions, the corresponding chemical that is released with that emotion, for example, cortisol released when we're angry or stressed out, gets trapped in our body. If we don't let our emotions flow through us, then they get stuck within us. When we activate those feeling chemicals within us and don't let them flow through us, they get stuck in the body, creating things like inflammatory diseases, stress-related diseases. By allowing ourselves to feel the bad emotion, we not only honor our feelings and our truths, we allow those emotional waves to pass through us without getting trapped within us. By allowing yourself to feel the bad emotions, you give yourself a wider range of feeling the good emotions. You cannot only feel happy all the time if you're constantly stuffing anger, depression, anxiety, resentment within you. So let it all out. Tip number 5, meditate. Meditating is so underrated and it can be done by anyone, and it's not hard or complicated, I promise. The whole paradigm of meditation is acceptance and connection. What science knows about meditation is that it reduces stress. And in a chronically stressed culture, it's something that we desperately need. By reducing our stress, we reduce our inflammation, thereby reducing the diseases. This happens by activating your parasympathetic nervous system. When we are stressed, we are in fight or flight. Now, we don't have as much use for this anymore because we're stressing about things that are not threatening our life. But when we're chronically stressed, which a lot of us are, we don't have time for rest and digest. So when your body is not repairing itself, it's constantly stressed out. That's when the diseases enter our body. That's a talk for another time, but meditation does activate your parasympathetic nervous system. You can meditate for as little or as long as you'd like. The benefits do come with practice in time. I'd say after meditating 7 days in a row, you will start to notice that you are able to relax. Meditation also allows you to choose what thoughts enter your brain easier. I don't want to say control your thoughts because control has kind of a negative connotation to it, but when you're able to master your thinking, you're also able to manifest easier. Check out this video on why the manifesting may not be working for you, and I'll give you a hint. It has to do with the thoughts you're thinking. When you slow down and reconnect to your body, you're allowing your body to heal, you're allowing your mind to heal, you're reducing all of those negative affect, those lower vibrational emotions and feelings. It's like a reset. Just like you shower every day, or maybe, I don't know, you need to shower your brain from the inundation of information and negativity that often plague us. Meditation is like washing your brain. It's a reset. If you don't wash your brain, it just accumulates all this toxicity. So I have a quiz on my website in case you want to find out what meditation style is best for you, or you can read the blog post about all the different kinds of meditations. It's not exhaustive, but it's a good place for you to start. How I started my meditation practice is setting a timer for 10 minutes a day and focusing on my heartbeat or my breath. And sometimes thoughts would come in and I would think about them and then I would just come back to my breath. It's not about fighting the thoughts off. It's about relaxing into your body. You can do it. The last tip is probably the most powerful. Number 6. Reframe. This is probably the most important tip for being happier. And that's because things will happen in life that are painful, that anger us, that make us sad or feel lonely. Those things will happen in life. And we need to acknowledge the suck. Hence tip number 4, feel all your emotions. Reframing is a cognitive behavioral skill that teaches your brain to look for a rainbow after it rains. Not ignoring the rain, not pretending the rain doesn't exist, but finding the beauty in a situation that sucks. It's all too easy for us to harp on the negatives in life, the negative in situations, watching the news telling you all these negative things, trying to get a rise out of you, trying to incite fear. No more. This constant rise and negativity and pessimism used to serve us because it makes us feel like we are in control, we are prepared, and we feel protected. But as with stress, we use it in such a way that no longer serves us. If we're constantly watching the news, getting stressed out every day about things that are not with us in the here and now, then it's no longer useful. What it is doing is polluting our mind and our body with negativity, with excess cortisol, with too much stress, with inflammation, all of these things. The mind is connected to the body. The mind is connected to the body. Thinking negative thoughts brings negative effects to your body. and your life. So reframing is a way of training your brain to write a story with an alternate ending, not lying to yourself, not ignoring when things are bad, but rather focusing your attention on the positives or the meaning or the purpose. Reframing is all about creating a more resilient and positive outcome in a story. We need to find the value and positivity in things in order to stay strong mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. And this is the quickest way to increase your happiness. So remember, happiness is an inside job. We need to have valuable relationships with other people. Get outside, feel all of your emotions, meditate, and reframe. I hope that you found this valuable and start reaping more happiness today. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more wellness and spiritual tips. Thank you so much for watching.